Hello everyone, welcome to the IAS Mentor World History Series. We are almost finishing World History Series. We are in the last but one chapter. I'm very much thankful to all of you for showing a great response for this series. The IAS Mentor is coming up with the next series, that is Ancient Indian History as well. Many students are also requesting for the Ancient Indian History. The way you are enjoying World History Series, similarly, I am very confident that you are going to enjoy Ancient Indian History as well. Let us try to see the last but one chapter, that is Decolonization. This is a very important topic from the examination point of view also, that what are the factors for decolonization, and second part of this decolonization or second theme in this decolonization is what is the colonial legacy. Many countries got independence from their colonial masters, but the moment colonial masters left their countries, the colonies did not all of a sudden, they did not become rich countries. Still, many countries are facing, in fact, you take example India only. There are many issues which are created by the British Raj. That is the second aspect, that what we call colonial legacy. Let us go to the map. This is the one. The way we are seeing today, so many countries, for example, Africa is the classical case. How many countries we are seeing? In 1900s, before 1950, these many countries are not there. And in fact, up to 1960 also, these many countries were not there. Then if these many countries are not there, who ruled them? These regions or this geographic territory ruled by like France, United Kingdom, Belgium, Germany, likewise. So, Germany, United Kingdom, Dutch, this geography, this territory was part of European Empire. In Europe, many empires are there, they divided this. Next, coming to this part. Asia, this is UK. In 1947 only, it became modern country like today we are seeing. Vietnam, France, Dutch, United Kingdom. And in fact, today also, this is a dominant. Even today also, Australia is a monarchy. Who is the king of Australia? United Kingdom. Barring this one, Dutch, France, United Kingdom. This area was also under influence of Europeans. What is decolonization means? Colonization is a process of controlling one geography by some other powerful empire. Decolonization is the reverse process. It is the process where one geography becomes free from the colonial master. Decolonization. But when this started, in the modern sense, it started in 1770s. For example, United States, it was a colony. Colony of which country or which empire? United Kingdom, Britain. In 1770s, they took the weapons, they wanted freedom, they fought against their king, the British Raj, and they became independent. American War of, this is known as American Revolution or American War of Independence. With that, today, whatever countries which we are seeing today, the foundation for such kind of politics started in this. And in fact, that is the biggest soft power for America. And today, With that soft power only today America is able to influence entire globe. Because the soft power which created during American Revolution was a permanent legacy of these people. What they wanted, the moment they became independent, and for what reason they fought, they wanted freedom, and they got it. After becoming free country from United Kingdom, they started developing on their own way, and today they are able to command #1 position in terms of GDP, in terms of technology, and in terms of political power. Next, this process is, we can consider as the beginning of decolonization. Europeans colonized this, and now Europeans' power, whoever settled here, they became part of this land, and they created a new identity called American identity. But the political domination ended. Political, economic domination ended. This is the beginning of decolonization. In which year? In 1770s. Next. The moment it became decolonized, independent, they declared themselves not as monarchy but as a republic. So what does it mean? In our land, in our country, we will not give any special importance to any kind of family, royal family. Every individual is equal. Every individual is having the capability and potential and eligible to reach the #1 position in the country, that is president. And that is the politics going on today also. Now, this kind of development in America naturally influenced the immediate neighborhood. In the immediate neighborhood, these people were ruled by Spain, Portuguese. In Europe also it triggered. In Europe it triggered French Revolution, and in fact they also declared themselves as a republic. So now you see the impact of this movement even within Europe also. But later, once again, France entered into monarchy stage. Napoleon. But the ideals of French Revolution, equality, liberty, fraternity, influenced entire Europe. Napoleon conquered all these territories, including this also. Now that means what? Spain, Portugal came under French influence. Here Portuguese, Spanish empires were there. Now the moment Napoleon conquered this territory, what will happen? Automatically the overseas empires are also going to be part of Napoleon empire. When those kind of developments are going on in 1800s, here influenced both by American Revolution and French Revolution, here also decolonization movement started. Like here George Washington, he is the person, military commander of American Revolutionary Forces. Along with George Washington, so many people contributed. Similarly, here also so many people contributed, but one person became a legend. His name is Simon Bolivar. That's why even today also there is a country called Bolivia. It is named after him only, Simon Bolivar. Under his leadership, they fought against Spanish and Portuguese people. Now, they also wanted independent countries. They became successful, independent. That's why you are seeing many countries in Latin America. This became independent, decolonization. This became independent, decolonization. There are so many problems after decolonization. That is another issue. After decolonization, what kind of problems they face. But in the first place, they are now not part of European empires. Europeans controlled them. Now Europeans are not controlling them anymore. The local people started taking control over their own politics, their own economy, their own society, their own life. Simon Bolivar. This in which time? 1820s. So 1770s, decolonization started. 1820s. Now these two done. Now the moment by 1820s, this world became inaccessible to these people. Why? Now America started saying that you Europeans don't interfere in the affairs of America. This American part is for only Americans. If you want to focus, you focus somewhere else, but don't come this part. Now, by this time, Industrial Revolution. By this time, new ideologies like racial superiority. By this time, Europeans are feeling themselves as superior species on the earth. And they are behaving themselves as if they are sent by God to rule entire world. With that confidence, now technology also encouraging them to conquer new territories. With this knowledge and with this kind of new racial superiority theories, they started exploring so-called dark continent. European historians consider this as a dark continent because nothing much known about this great territory. Europeans knew about only the coastal areas, but not the interiors. Now this became inaccessible. Now they started exploring more and more this. Side by side, when decolonization is happening, here colonization was going on. Colonization, along with this also colonization started, but more and more colonization started happening now in 19th century. More and more areas came under European powers. So colonization became complete by 1880s. Almost most of the continent came under either United Kingdom or France or Germany or Belgium, Dutch likewise. Colonization. By that time itself, decolonization. Here we are talking about decolonization. Decolonization. Now, there is an observation by historians that these colonies, suppose if United Kingdom people come here and if they integrate there naturally, if the Europeans come there and integrate with Africans naturally, mixing with the African people, intermarriages, sharing their cultures, sharing their language, if they naturally integrate, then we will not call it as a colony in this sense. We will call like migrations are happening, and in migrations, intermixing of migration, racial intermixing, and multiple cultures come and mixing together. But in the process, but this kind of colonization, they are considering themselves superior, they are inferior. Now they started discriminating the locals. Europeans came from this area, but they destroyed the cultures of this region. But they will not say that we are destroying, they will say we are civilizing you. They discriminate. If the white houses are there, if white estates are there, in that black people should not enter. This area belongs to black people. In the same language of European historians and European scholars, this belongs to dark people, but dark people should not enjoy the resources of these people. That is the kind of discrimination they had. For some decades you can do, but you cannot do perpetually. You cannot keep these people remain ignorant for long period of time. That's why one scholar observed that these colonies are like fruits. It's like a tree. United Kingdom is like a tree. Now this tree had branches, this area, this area, this area. Now these colonies like fruits, they will hang to the tree or the branch till the time they are ripen. That means if they get matured enough to understand the exploitation, now they will never stay with them. They want separate independence. The time they understand this exploitation, the moment they see it is our land, it is our resource, and it is our culture, on top of it, someone is coming and treating us as inhumans, subhumans, inhumanly, then one day they are going to get enlightened and they are going to fall. So, colonies are like fruits. They hang to the tree only till they are ripen, and after that automatically fallen. That means that decolonization is imminent. When you are treating like this, one day they are also going to question that and they became independent. But this happened when? Up to Second World War, it was continuously controlled by Europeans. Now, after Second World War, they themselves became very weak. They could not handle that, and they declared independence. Some peacefully, some violently. This is one process of decolonization after World War II. So 1770s America, 1820s Latin America. After Second World War, this one. Before this, Africa became independent. Before this, they had an experience or inspiration from Asia. The moment Second World War has taken place, after the Second World War, they completely collapsed, economically collapsed, industrially collapsed, morality wise, there was now no moral strength also to control. Why they are fighting World War II? Because when Hitler wanted to expand, like these people expanded to their countries, here Hitler wanted to continuously expand their country into their countries. Now United Kingdom itself is now in the survival issue, whether United Kingdom will exist or not. Had Hitler been successful, now United Kingdom would have been a Hitler empire. They were fighting their survival issue. They are fighting for their survival itself. Now, when they are fighting for their survival, they have seen how it is going to, the feeling of if someone coming and invading their country. It is the same feeling here also for the locals. How they felt when British are controlling, invading them, when French people are invading, when Germans themselves are invading to other countries. So morally also, they became defenseless. Economically, but even though morally it is immoral practice, still they try their best. For example, France did not give independence immediately. Only when locals got awareness, when so many movements have taken place, then they got independence. In Asia, in 1900s, so many movements, in case of India, for example, non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, finally quit India movement, under the leadership of Gandhiji, Indian National Congress, and so many other parties and leaders. All of them wanted one goal, that is independence. British did not give it. We had to take it. So that is how Indian independence movement led to decolonization in Indian subcontinent. Subcontinent, I am using the term subcontinent. That means independence for Pakistan also, independence for Bangladesh also. Sri Lanka also. Same is the case with Indonesia also. Indonesian people were fighting against their masters, that is Dutch. They became independent. Vietnam people fought against the French master. They became independent. During Second World War, all the European countries were not able to control these areas anymore because they became completely bankrupt after Second World War. Starting with 1770 decolonization America, Latin America decolonization. In 1960s, decolonization. But before that, in 1900s itself, a movement started, and in fact, they influenced Africans. The Asian independent movements influenced Africans to fight for their own independence also. Likewise, across the globe, wherever colonial masters were there, they had to give the powers to the locals, and they had to quit these empires. They dissolved their empires, and they went back. This is what decolonization. From the UPSC point of view, what are the factors for decolonization? If I write, this is important, you can directly write in the examination. Decolonization. What are the factors? Now we have seen, just listing out only, nothing else. Factors means what? Before World War II, after World War II. Before World War, America, Latin America. Two examples. Colonial exploitation, one factor. Americans got enlightened about their about the exploitative nature of the British rule. That's why they wanted independence. Awareness among American settlers. This phase is known as enlightenment among the Americans. Same is the case with Latin America also. Exploitation of the colonial master and awareness among the locals led to the fighting and became independent. Most important aspect is this, because there are more number of factors, particularly larger scale decolonization has taken place after Second World War. First factor, Second World War itself is a factor. In the Second World War, factor, empires became bankrupt. United Kingdom won the war, but at what cost? They became bankrupt. Economic collapse. Economically, because cities destroyed, many people died. Civilian, no difference between military people and civilians. Factories destroyed. Then entire knowledge burnt. Entire generation of the entrepreneurs gone. Completely a new kind of economic system had to be built after Second World War. It will take time. Meanwhile, they were controlling the colonies with force. But now that force cannot be sustained because economically they are less powerful. They cannot give the salaries to the army who are maintaining their colonies. They cannot do. That's why they had to find other way. Economically, they became very weak. Morally also, for 6 years, 1939 to 1945, 6 years they were continuously fighting with the fascist powers, United Kingdom, France, USA, fascist powers. For what? For freedom. When United Kingdom, France themselves are fighting for freedom, now how can they take away the freedom of the colonies? That's why morally also became defenseless, morally also weak. They cannot maintain this. Next one. When master countries themselves are facing like this, in the colonies themselves, nationalism. Nationalism is one of the biggest enemies of any empire. Now that enemy entered into colonies. That means awareness among colonies increased. Europeans conquered India because Indians were in weak position in 1700s. Indians themselves were divided. And on top of it, British policies also encouraged this division with the divide and rule policy. And with that, as long as there was no unity among Indians, they were able to rule India. But the moment a new generation of the people came, called middle class, these are Western educated. Western educated. This is the question, UPSC question. Contribution of Western educated people for the independence movements. Now, who are these people? They are Western educated. In Western educated means in Western countries, United Kingdom, France, Germany, how they are different from Asia means Europeans are progressive in terms of industries also. For making industrially very sustainable, very strong, their education system is very strong. That education system is very strong because they came out of the orthodox religious churches. Education came out of the superstitious beliefs of the religion. And the moment they started questioning the existing beliefs, scientific progress started. Now with the scientific progress, technology improved. With that technology, they are conquering the world. Common people were able to contribute for this great knowledge because Their rulers are not curtailing the freedom of the people through democracy. So democracy, liberalism, then free education, secularism. Free education means education open without much interference from the church or any religious institution. It gave them innovation. It made the people to think innovatively. They are progressive. Democracy, liberalism, secularism, all these ideals. The Western educated middle class came into contact with these ideas. Now they started questioning, when Europeans are enjoying equality, liberty, fraternity, why Europeans are not giving the same liberal principles to their colonies. They have clearly seen that colonial masters are only teaching something but practicing something else. That hypocrisy was exposed by these people, and they wanted, we don't want to stay with the Europeans, because they did not come to India for generating awareness or enlightening us or civilizing us, rather to exploit us. Same goes to Indonesia, same goes to Vietnam, same goes to Africa. These factors same only everywhere. Only name will change. In one place United Kingdom, in one place France, in one place Dutch, in one place Indonesia, one place Vietnam, one place India. But middle class, Western educated middle class created awareness among the Indians, among the Indonesians, among the Africans, and they unified the people. Most importantly, this unifying the people with a feeling of nation, that we should not fight with each other because Europeans controlled us when we are fighting with each other. Now we should not fight. Rather, we should unite and fight against the master. That's where that nationalism spirit gave Indians, Indonesians, Africans feeling of unity. This unity created terror in the minds of the people, and it had to, Europeans had to give independence. That led to decolonization. Why we are studying? Reasons for decolonization. Second World War made European empires bankrupt, economically weak, morally weak, and the rise of nationalism in the colonies led to awareness, and they started demanding freedom. Next, new developments. After Second World War, USA, USSR, they became superpowers. Not the European countries or UK, France. Traditional superpowers were UK, France. USA, USSR became superpowers. And both USA and USSR, we are talking as part of decolonization. USA is considered as the beginning. It is the place where beginning of decolonization started. In 1770s. Now by 1945, after decolonization, it became one of the most powerful countries on the earth. It is the only country which possessed a nuclear power. And after decolonization, why they were fighting? They wanted freedom. So now they got freedom in 1770s. In next 150 years, they became very powerful. Now after becoming powerful, they themselves were victim of this colonial exploitation. Now they openly started saying other countries also should be decolonized. Moral support came from the most powerful country, one of the superpowers. And naturally, United Kingdom itself is depending on USA loans. France itself is depending on USA loans. Now USA has the power to influence their decision making. United Kingdom and France had to listen to USA. Otherwise, their economies, they cannot sustain without USA help. Now, USSR, the moment USSR emerged is Russian Revolution. Russian Revolution, they fought against this exploitation only. When Russian Revolution is itself is exploitation, against exploitation, people took the inspiration from them, and USSR also started pressurizing UK and France and other colonial masters that decolonization should happen, freedom should be given to them. Freedom from exploitation. Now when two superpowers of that time, when they pressurized, it also became nuclear power. Now France and UK, they are depending on these countries, particularly USA. Communist areas of Europe depending on this. Now they had to listen to them. USA, USSR, they encouraged decolonization. Another reason. Next, fourth one. After Second World War, one organization is created to maintain peace in the name of exploiting the people, in the name of expanding into the new territories, in the name of imperialism. So many wars and battles have taken place. Two total wars, World War I and World War II happened. United Nations was created to maintain peace so that in future such kind of wars will not take place. Now, this United Nations also pro-freedom. Now, whoever become the member of United Nations, the Charter of United Nations is for freedom. Now, they started putting pressure on the colonial masters and they had to give in. And whenever a country becomes independent, they formed a group and they entered into non-aligned movement where they don't want to have any kind of ideological lineage with this or this, but they want to follow their own independent foreign policy. Whoever become member of NAM, they started demanding freedom. So it became additional burden because when new countries become part of non-aligned movement, now gradually United Kingdom, France and other European countries were not able to handle this new emerging scenario. They are not powerful. New power centers are different. Now they had to go by the new powers. That's where United Nations and NAM, they also started putting pressure on the colonial masters that decolonization should happen. So this way, European empire themselves weak, rise of nationalism within the colonies, and other international developments led to decolonization. Now, what is the legacy? They became independent. Many countries became independent. The next theme of decolonization is colonial legacy. It's a continuation of the same challenge, very easy to understand also. The next theme in decolonization is colonial legacy or challenges before these newly formed countries. What they have done? Now they became independent. Let me explain here only. India became independent in 1945. India became independent in 1945, but what is the source of development? Resource must be there. But when it comes to resource for the development, you need schools for giving good education. You need hospitals for healthcare facilities, for treating illness. You need food production so that people will not die in hunger. Then you need infrastructure so that people will move from one place to the other place, economy will grow. Now, if economy has to grow, that means the resources must be there. Colonial legacy means this is the problem of newly formed India. India wants to solve these problems, but during colonial period, they deindustrialized. Whereas Europe industrialized in the same time, industrial revolution they witnessed by exploiting these natural resources, their cotton, their tea, their coffee, their indigo, their iron ore, coal minerals. It became raw material supplier and they became manufactured center and they dumped again them and they became markets and raw material source. In the process, industries did not develop here. Now it became a major legacy of the British. Colonial legacy means this only. One of the challenges newly independent countries faced is this problem of deindustrialization. It is the same thing everywhere. Here, before British came already industrialized, they converted into deindustrialized. In the old countries where Already in the backward condition, they made even more backward. So deindustrialization, commercialization, they have converted, and they have continuously eradicated, in the name of civilization, local knowledge. They have eradicated local cultures in the name of civilization. To establish themselves as rulers, they followed divide and rule policy. If there are two different communities within the society, they divide and rule them. And they will favor one community, and they will trigger the consciousness of communities, communalism, communal tensions increased. In case of Africa, they divide based on tribes, one tribe, another tribe. In case of India, they divided based on religion, one religion, Hindu-Muslim divide. In this way, wherever they are there, that division, that communalism became another colonial legacy. Independent India had to fight against that. Independent India had to fight against this underdevelopment. That is how colonial legacy. And when it comes to political challenges or international challenges, they have divided the countries very artificially. You can see the African countries are very straight. The boundaries are very straight. Can there be any country which is very straight, having the boundary very straight? River will be there, mountain will be there, deserts will be there. It's very difficult, but they have devised in such a way, it became artificial boundary. Now, people from this side and from this side belong to the same tribe, but now they are two different nationals. Same they have done with respect to India and Pakistan. Now, when it comes to this area, they have divided. When it comes to Africa, they have divided like this. What is the colonial legacy? After India got independence, India and Pakistan had to fight many wars and battles for the territory, Kashmir, some other issues because of Hindu-Muslim divide. Same is the wish. It's not about only this. Our is only one element of this greater challenge. This also like this. So this is what colonial legacy means. They have exploited the people, exploited their cultures, exploited their local knowledge, and they have divided and rule. And because of their policies, it led to the split in the communities also, split in the countries also. After independence also, they are still facing economic challenges, political challenges, international challenges, cultural challenges. So this is how colonial legacy, decolonization. Now, before they are coming up with solutions, before they enter into the developed stage, a new kind of colonization is happening that is known as neo-colonialism. Neo-colonialism. Neo-colonialism means, now, when USA became independent, it was pro-freedom. Now, USA itself is creating institutions in such a way, they are going to again influence the local cultures, local politics, local economy. Again, it wanted raw materials from certain regions, and they want to convert these areas into marketable areas. They wanted markets, they wanted raw materials. In that way, again, same kind of problem like British colonialism, French colonialism is taking place in a new form that is called neo-colonialism. American artificial intelligence companies and multinational companies, MNCs, they are already started dominating the spheres economically and culturally in different parts of the globe. Now, through that, many underdeveloped countries had to depend on American technologies, American MNCs, and through that, America is using the same MNCs as a tools to use them and influence these countries politically. It want to become economically superpower. It already superpower, it want to remain there. It want to control politically across the globe. But it cannot directly send their military soldiers and conquer all these territories. And through MNCs, because these are less developed because of the colonial legacy, for their development, they have to depend on them. And if you depend on them, now the same MNCs are sending the information of these countries to America. Now America is influencing their politics, their economic choices, and their cultural choices. United Nations is located in USA. World Bank is located in USA. IMF is located in USA. Now, these are for every country, but they are being used as a tools of USA foreign policy. That is called neo-colonialism. This is one angle. Whoever powerful, for example, if you take China, and China gives a lot of loan to small countries like Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and African countries. China gives a lot of loans beyond their repaying capability, and after some time they cannot pay loan, their interest to China, and China says, no problem, I will just you give me your territory. Neo-colonialism. But it will not directly take, it will not send the army and control these areas. It will say first loan. This is called making the countries a debt trap. You push the country, small countries into trap of the debt so that they cannot pay the debt and indirectly influence. Now, you have taken debt from them. Now, these countries are going to play as per the foreign policy requirement of China. For example, China-Pakistan economic corridor. Now, Pakistan is depending on China. Now, whatever China wish, Pakistan had to support because they are in debt trap. Whatever China says, Sri Lanka had to listen because Sri Lanka is owed to China. Earlier, this is what happening since 1945. USA is doing like this. USSR also has done like this. And we are on the other side, the victim side. That's why this is called neo-colonialism. After decolonization, one more challenge is emerging, that is called neo-colonialism, neo-imperialism. This is what happening. Now, this is the challenge. Now, once again, because of colonialism, World War I, World War II happened. Now, if this go on, if United Nations, if World Bank, IMF are not used for the sake of entire globe, if they are used only for the purpose of few countries, then again, World War III also may happen because people will not listen to them. Before World War II, there is a League of Nations like United Nations, but it was only playing as per the requirement of United Kingdom and France because they are superpowers. As a result, what happened? Other people did not listen to League of Nations. World War II happened. Now, if United Nations do not reform as per the new choices, the new scenario, again, people will not listen to United Nations. Once again, it will lead to another clashes, that is World War III. This is what colonization, starting decolonization, starting with America, Northern America, Latin America, then Asia, then Africa. One by one, step by step, we have seen various causes for decolonization and also legacy of the colonies. After decolonization also, these countries are still facing challenges because of colonial legacy. All right. With this, we have ended this particular chapter, that is chapter number 14, decolonization. Next video, we are going to deal with the last chapter, and with that, we are going to end whole history series. Please go through all the videos one by one. Once you watch these videos, for UPSC point of view, it's going to be more than enough. You will write quality answer in GS1 whole history question. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.